Well, good morning, America, fellow YouTubers, or wherever you are. I'm out here taking care of the cows today, and got a bale of hay rolled out over here. You might be able to see laying on the ground. Kind of jagged it all over the place, but anyway, these cows here are my dry cows, and I feed them a bale of hay every day, and roll out over here, and then I roll one over here on this other side, and I just open this gate here and move them back and forth, and later today I'll roll a bale out over here on this east pasture. And there's not much out in the rest of the pasture for them to eat on. I've got a little bit of wheat planted in some of it and letting it kind of grow. I've got some heifers and cows that have calves that are out eating on that, but this here's the dry cows, and that way I've got them up here where I can work them if they have babies or need care. Some of these cows were fall calvers or late summer calvers, and I've got them their babies up there being weaned. But anyway, this is the day the Lord has made. I'll rejoice and be glad in it. And I tell you, I sure thankful. Lord sure has blessed us this year, and we've had a good year. Foxy, no. Come on, babies. Swoo! Come on. Foxy. Foxy, out here. Go out there. Go get him. Foxy. There comes one. Once one or two of them get started, they start moving on. That little old heifer there, be her first time to calf pretty soon. She's starting to show a little bit. Got about 10 heifers this year that'll be calving. I'm wanting them to calve closer to spring, this being the end of the year. From here on out it'll be okay, but I'd rather them wait till about March or April. But I've got a few that have already calved and a few that's showing, and get her. Go on, get her. That's good. Come on, good boy. This is my little old dog Foxy, and he's a pretty good little old cow dog. Sometimes he wants to head them the wrong way, or he don't want to stop, or he aggravates them a lot. I guess that gets in their nature, but he also likes to lick on them and stuff, and he don't really ever hurt them. But anyway, I'm just out today and thinking of what a beautiful, crisp winter day this is, and how good the Lord's been to us. And I'm so thankful for this 2018. And I've had a few bumps in the road this year, but overall we've had a good year. And my business, I've made a little money, kept the bills paid, and had a few calves to sell, and got hay put up in my grain silo. I don't know if I've shared that yet or not, but back in the fall it caught on fire, and it is actually still burning, the grain inside of it. We buy corn gluten pellets and have put in it, and it caught on fire and just keeps a burning. So not very happy with that, but it is what it is. And I've been buying feed in these big bags, 1,500 pound bags, and we been feeding grain that way. But I had $5,000 worth of grain in my grain bin, and it's all burned up. So if you ever wondered what money smelled like burning, well, I guess you could show up at Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope the sunlight's not in the way too much here. We have had an abundance of rain, and I tried fixing this here up a little bit and hauled some gravel and dirt from the creek with the tractor, and it has made one muddy mess. The next day after, we got 2 inches of rain, and it made a mess. And then night before last, we had I got 2 different gauges, a real one and one of them electronic ones, and the real one showed right at 2 inches. The electronic one said 2.38 inches, but either way, we had 2 inches of rain, I guess I could say, pretty easy like. These are the cows that's got calves, and a little bit I'll be bringing them some feed out here and grain feed them a little bit and stuff. But I think I've got 15 new babies, and I thought I'd walk down here and just look at them while they're kind of spread out and calm a little bit. But the Lord sure has been good. We've so thankful this year, and I wish calf prices was up a little bit more. But one thing for sure, we have been blessed with rain. The last 2 winters, these ponds got real low, and the creek, there's a creek to my east here towards the sun there, runs through this property, and it does dry up, has always dried up in the from running in the summertime. In the hot summer, it'll stop running. Foxy, quit, leave her alone. It'll dry up and quit running, and we have last couple of years I've not been able to put my heifers down here. I like to run them along this creek, and I've got some wheat planted back over there, and it lets the heifers have something to eat on that's good for them. And this is one of our young bulls here, and I've got him in here with the cows that have recently calved, so that they can rebreed if they want to. It won't be long. I'll be taking another month, I guess. I'll be taking the bulls out. I'm trying to get down to where I have 2 calving seasons, spring and a fall. And right now I'm trying to get down to a 90-day spring and maybe a 60-day fall. And eventually I wouldn't care to get down to a 60 or 90-day window just once a year. But financially, if I stop it all just right now, I'm going to miss out on a lot of calves. And I don't know about y'all, but I can always use money. So I thought I just don't like summertime calves. And we take a load sometimes to Oklahoma City of calves, and when we do, why, if you got a bigger load, helps offset the cost there a little bit, so it always works out good. But I got 8 heifers in here, and I have another one that is in here with the wet cows and nurse cows. I want her over in here, but she hasn't I hadn't been able to get her over. This old cow up here, that old tan white-faced cow, she is supposed to calf on the 4th of January, and she's starting to make a bag, and she's got a little discharge coming out. And so she's probably about 9-year-old cow, and she's calved every year without fail, and she doesn't seem to take a whole lot to maintain her. I know most people would have gotten rid of her. This probably would have been her last year, but for most when they're 8-year-old, and she could even be as much as 10-year-old. I'd have to look on the records, but she's had a calf every year, and I've kept heifers out of her when they've proven to be about as good as she is. And so she'll probably get to live out her days here on the farm. But I've got her in here with these heifers because they're wanting fed here, and I'll have to go get grain and feed them in a minute. But I've got her in here with them to help keep them gentle down. She's a real gentle cow, and she'll follow a bucket anywhere you want to go. And these heifers have gotten this way too. These heifers are Angus cross, mostly Angus influence, but their daddy was a Brangus bull. We called him T-Bone, and this year I've kept 9 babies out of him, and these were born early last year, about the 1st of January, February, along through there. So they're just reaching almost a year old now, and they're looking pretty good and coming along good. But I feed them a little bit of grain, and then it's hard to probably tell it out here in this field, but this Bermuda grass, we drilled in wheat and turnips, and back over here across the creek and around there's wheat coming up through this. It's just they've got it ate down pretty good. You can probably see some of the green out there, and it won't be long, about another 60 days, and the weather starts warming up, this wheat ought to go crazy. And I haven't had to feed these any hay. I've got some other fields over here I turn them out on and rotate them, and they haven't had to be fed any hay, which saves me a lot of money. But anyway, my little dog, he's been around these ever since they were little, and he likes to play, and they like to lick him, and they would play with him when he was little, but their mamas didn't like that. And I got a feeling when they get to be mamas, they're not going to like it either. But this old cow here, she's acting fussy, but she's just because these nurse cows, wet cows, have come up and to her and to the fence here, followed me up here, and everything's kind of hungry this morning. But they like that grain. You can take grain and lead your cows anywhere you want to go. But anyway, as far as cattle, we've had a pretty good year. I just wish they'd have brought another $1 a pound. I would have been a real happy camper. But we did lose 1 cow this year, and we've lost 2 calves this year, and that was kind of disappointing. But the cow we lost was old, and I think she had anaplasm. If you're familiar with that, it's spread by horse flies and other flies and mosquitoes and stuff, and we had an abundance of horse flies this year. I fed them that wind and rain mineral that's got the fly control, and it didn't seem like it helped, and so it helped some, I'm sure, but we still had a lot of flies and horse flies. And this next year I may get them up and spray them a little bit. But this here's my other little heifer, that little black one there, if you can see. I've got this GoPro mounted on my sock cap up here, a little band around it, so I'm kind of not used to that. But this little black one, she should be in here with these heifers. She just got mixed in here with these once, and I've not gotten her back out, but she gets fed the same, except she has to eat hay instead of eating wheat. There's a little bit of wheat out here, but not much. But anyway, these cows, I'm gonna go up and get feed them. But I wanted to talk just a little bit, if you're listening, about the cattle markets, and just tell you real quick, this little white cow here, I call her Casper, and she's had her first little Charolais cow. She had her first calf this year, and it's been a little dandy, and he's around here somewhere. He's a pretty good sized calf, was big when he was born, and it was her first, and kind of proud of her. She's one of my favorites, I guess. Shh, go on, bull. Go on. Foxy, quit pestering him. Quit it. Foxy, quit. He's gonna get you in a minute. I quit it. This little old bull here, he's I don't know for sure how old. He's over 2 years old anyway, but he's gonna be our replacement bull, and he's coming along. He don't have to work very hard in here with these wet cows, at least not yet. but he will later on. He'll have to start working. But here's some of our cows that's got calves. Some of these were born in November, and that little Casper there, she had a here's her calf, this tan colored one there, number 114, and he's born in December. So but he was pretty good size. You can see the difference. The ones that's been born the 1st of December is where he was born, and these other two little black ones there by him were born the end of December, and there's quite a bit of difference there in them. I really didn't want December. I wanted them to quit calving by the 1st of December, but anyway, because you got to feed your cows quite a bit more to keep them looking good if you have them calving and they have to raise a calf during the winter. This little old cow here, tan white face, number 18, she's got a little old black white face heifer, and she's this little cow, she's had through, quit that, Foxy, leave her alone, leave her alone, I said quit it. Bad dog. No, you stay over here and leave her alone. Anyway, that's her second calf I guess she's had. Maybe her third, but she's been a good little old mama, and she got a little black white face I'm kind of proud of. I'll probably keep that little heifer. This little old number 1 steer here, he was born like August this year. That's why he's so big, and he's kind of born odd, so I kept him with the fall and winter cows. Like I say, there's about 15 calves there. But I wanted to talk for just a minute about the cattle markets and what I thought about them. There's a lot of talk on the internet and a lot of different ideas because the prices have went down, and a lot of them saying that if we had more foreign trade we would do better, but I just don't think the foreign trade's going to save us here. And what I think would help us is to quit importing cattle. Maybe if they re-implemented that the country of origin labeling, where they would put raised in the USA, would help us, and people would buy USA beef.